Busted Speakers. I'm Alex, and I am joined by the old familiar, the regular companion of mine on this channel, Cam.
That's me.
Today we're reviewing the first album by EOB. Nah, we're just kidding. It's EOB, or more normally known as Ed O'Brien, the third guitarist from Radiohead after Tom and Johnny Greenwood also play guitars in the band. We obviously love Radiohead, right, Cam?
Oh yeah, big fan.
And Ed's role is probably a bit overlooked compared to some others in the band. He definitely has played some crucial parts in Radiohead's career. Definitely more of a guitarist in the early days, but then progressed to more like the atmospherics of the songs, and he is the only other member other than Tom that provides vocal support. Like, he is the backing vocalist of the band as well.
Yeah.
So
I'd say that's pretty significant.
I'd say so too. Like, he's got his place. If you removed his contributions from Radiohead, they'd feel very empty and missing something, because he is a member of the band and has been since the beginning, like all other members. The genesis of this album's pretty interesting. Apparently he's been writing songs since the early 2000s, late 90s, but was a bit scared to unleash them or show them off. Maybe just a bit timid more than anything else. You know, he's working with some of the most formidable songwriters in the business. The song Banksters actually originates from the 2008 bank crisis. Like, that's how far back that song goes. There's a lot of years of build up to his solo release. What did you actually expect from him in his solo career? Like, did you think it would sound like Radiohead, or is this kind of the sort of stuff you'd expect?
You never really know what to expect with solo members, especially in a band as diverse in their sound and approach to music as Radiohead. Like, some bands you can figure, like, just from the style that they are, the members are going to go off and do their own thing, and they're going to be pretty similar. With, Radiohead, knowing everything that they've done, where they came from, where they are now, having heard as much of Tom's solo work as I've done, hearing some of Johnny Greenwood's soundtrack work, you can tell that this is a group of guys who aren't content to just stay in one place and do the same thing that's been working for them for a while. So I had no idea what to expect from Ed's solo work.
Neither did I. I didn't even know what he'd sound like vocally, because even though he does provide backing vocals, they are just that, backing vocals. He never takes the lead from Tom. I'd say he's got a very ordinary but pleasant voice. I feel like that's fair to say.
Yeah, he does have an alright voice. When the first track on this shangri-la started, I was thinking, oh, so he's got kind of a, Bon Iver falsetto. It's going to take some getting used to, because I'm not a huge fan of Bon Iver, but he actually doesn't really dip back into that for the rest of the album. So, I mean, at least it's an interesting flavor while it lasts.
Yeah, I didn't expect the first song to be unexpectedly done in a falsetto manner. Doesn't sound like, Tom when he does his usual voice. It's interesting you say Bon Iver. It actually sounds more like, the band Foals?
I don't know.
Okay, well, he sounds a lot like the lead vocalist from this, and this is the sort of indie rock pop thing the Foals would do as well, so this song as a whole reminded me of them. I'd say overall this album is pretty solid, decently rounded. It's actually got more variety than I was expecting, I think. Maybe unwisely, given the band he hails from being the very supremely creative Radiohead. I should have expected more than just like some general alternative rock songs, but there isn't even that much rock on here at all. I'd say most of this album is like contemporary folk pop for the most part. I did not expect that, but then again, I didn't know what to expect. Overall, I just found this album really calming and melancholic. It was a very easy listen, and that's kind of what I needed right now.
Yeah, I agree, except I think the folkiness was a little bit less prominent in my view.
Well, I thought like at least 60% of this album was like at least had acoustic guitar bass to it. At least like 5 songs of the 9.
I guess I just don't really know what modern folky people are up to, but I gravitated towards the dancier songs.
Fair enough. But even Brazil, which is one of the dancier songs, begins for the first 3 minutes as a acoustic-led number.
That sort of thing. I couldn't help wondering like what the album might have sounded like if he had shuffled it around, like put Brazil in the middle, put like the folkier, softer acoustic stuff in the beginning, and then had that song transition into the dancier type stuff.
It'd probably be sequenced a little bit better, because it does seem like rock song, folk song that turns into a dance song, another folk song, more of a art rock type number, folk song. And then the second last track, Olympic, is a full-on alternative dance house techno number. So I feel like the sequencing on this album, it's not bad, but it's definitely scattered around. Like, he doesn't naturally develop to a sound. He like darts back and forth from different types of songs.
Yeah, and that fact definitely kept me at a bit of a distance with this album. None of the songs are bad. Really could have stood to have better sequencing, or even a couple more, really good, ravers.
So those were your favorite type of songs on this album?
Yeah, to me that seemed to be his greatest strength, possibly surprisingly, I don't really know. He seems to have a knack for songs that start off softer and build up into something you can really groove to. So like Shangri-La in Brazil, like we were talking about, and Olympic, and Banksters, I guess, which are my picks for the best songs on here. With those, like, first two, I was thinking, okay, if this is what the rest of the album's like, it's going to be, something really fun I can bop to. And then having to go through all the, softer, folky, moody numbers just kind of made it, I don't want to say a chore, because it was easy to listen to and it is enjoyable, but like I feel like I was promised something a little more upbeat and danceable, and this isn't necessarily it, so...
They're quite far removed genres as well, like contemporary folk pop and alternative dance / house. It takes a lot of genres to even get from one of those genres to another, so it is quite a leap in a way, but I feel like the musical quality of this album shines through and helps bridge everything together. Brazil is actually notable for having another Radiohead member play on it, Colin Greenwood, their bass player,
right, yeah,
who makes his presence really well known because he is the one that adds his bass line along with whoever the drummer is into the folk beginning of the song and turns it into like a danceable number. So that song has 2/5 of Radiohead on it and is one of the stronger songs on the album, I'd say. Did any of the songs here actually feel close to a Radiohead song? Like, I did read that Ed had thought maybe he could bring it to the band, like maybe Tom and Johnny could work something out with these, because Banksters actually almost feels like a Radiohead song to me, because it has like Hail to the Thief era guitar playing, and like I said earlier, it was written during the 2008 banking crisis, which makes it a fittingly angry song about the big banks weren't meant to fail, but they did, and the refrain of where did all the money go. I could see Tom singing that, kinda.
There are definitely sounds on this album that can be compared to Radiohead because of just the way that Ed, uses his instrument. He does a lot of the ambient effects and texturing on a lot of the songs. Like Tree Fingers is entirely just like him manipulating his guitar beyond all recognition. And so you can definitely listen to songs on this album and point to, this sounds a little bit like The King of Limbs, this sounds a little bit like A Moon-Shaped Pool.
Yeah, and that is a major contribution he made continues to make to Radiohead, is his atmospheric manipulation of songs to add a lot of atmosphere to them, and I feel like that really helps the folk songs on here more. Like, they could be just really boring folk numbers, which some end up being. Like, I don't remember anything from the song Mass. It's just a song of nothing in the middle. It sounds quite nice, but it's not very memorable to me. However, most of the acoustic songs are uplifted because of his atmospheric, engineering of them. They sound better than they might actually be. I feel like that aspect of the album has to be praised. I would actually say, of the folkier songs, Cloak of the Night might be the better one.
Yeah, that one is clearly folkiest of the bunch. It's like I shouldn't discount that.
Simply because he is duetting with Laura Marlin, who is a proper contemporary folk pro at this point. She spent the last 10 years forging her own identity in the scene and duets very well with Ed. Even though it's a very simple song with basic lyrics, it sounds really nice.
Along with Laura Marling, we probably don't want to discount any of the other musicians that are featured on the album. He's got contributions from Adrian Utley, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, who's from Portishead.
Oh yeah.
Then Wilco's drummer Glenn Kochi, members of a group called Invisible, or The Invisible, Nathan East and David Okumu. Again, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing any of these. And then a drummer named Omar Hakim.
And they play more on the, obviously, rockier, dancier songs, as the acoustic ones are mainly Ed and the guitar.
Yeah. Omar has worked with like everybody. He's drummed for Bowie, Miles Davis, Dire Straits. The guy is prolific.
Sounds like a legendary contributor to popular music at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, everybody's on good form on this album for sure.
Yeah, I shouldn't discount that. The main focus is obviously Ed instrumentally, but he brought in good people to help him. Obviously, other members of bands like Portishead and Wilco, probably people he's met in the industry along the way, might be good friends or might just be doing some session work. I don't know if doing session work's like pro bono work for the music industry at this point, but who knows. So what did you think overall of this album, Cam?
Yeah, this is a strong debut outing for Ed. EOB.
EOB.
EOB. I personally would like more of the dancey type stuff. My first thought listening to him was that it sounded kind of like what U2 was doing in the 90s. And, you know, let's be fair, somebody else evoking U2 from 30 years ago was a lot better than whatever U2's been doing for the last 20 years or so.
And he does have the producer from that era, Flood, producing this album with him.
He went on record saying that those songs are more based on Screamadelica, which after I read that, yeah, obviously that's a huge influence on here. And honestly, I think we could use like an updated version of that music in this day and age. So I hope that that's the direction that he picks for future releases. Overall, nothing in here is lacking. Everything is professional and nice to listen to. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, similar thoughts, except I actually found the folkier songs to be of a similar quality to the dancier ones, but just in a different way. Like, he knows what he's doing, he's a seasoned musician. Any doubts that he isn't a competent guitar player from anyone should be quelled with this album, as he is a very good acoustic guitar player mostly, although he's got some good guitar licks here and there on songs like Olympic. He knows what music he likes and he does it well. I hope this isn't a one-off album, but I have a feeling it actually might be. Who knows? He's probably busy with Radiohead for the rest of his life, so who knows? I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10.
Ooh, bringing back the 0.5s.
Brought back the 0.5 systems. Whenever you want to cop out, it's always there to help you out.
Alright, thanks for tuning in to Busted Speakers, everybody. Leave us a like if you like this video. Subscribe if you want to see more of our music reviews. You can follow us on Twitter @_BustedSpeakers. You can follow me on Twitter @SubProspector. And you can check us out on Facebook, and we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.